You're all right. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Board of County Commissioners February 19th, 2026 meeting. On my immediate right is Commissioner Kevin Cook, who represents District 2, and on my left is Commissioner Aaron Mays, who represents District 3. I'm Bill Rippon, and I represent District 3. So, Chris, what's first on the agenda?
The first item is item 3, consent agenda.
I would think that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item 4, new business. A, County Clerk. Number 1, consider all voucher payments.
Commissioners, this morning we have vouchers that total $3,806,068.21. The highlights out of the voucher report, we have payroll, which was $1,432,549.82. We have health insurance for our employees of $354,514.29. Holding accounts with the state of Kansas of $126,271.80. Expenditures out of the solid waste department of $423,532.88. There was a payment to the Kansas Department of Health and Environment for loan payments funded by the Sherwood Improvement District of $243,621.08. And then finally, there was a progress payment made to King Construction Company Incorporated for work completed on the Southwest Auburn Road from 29th Street to K4 Highway, and that was $210,150. I do not have any questions regarding the vouchers. Would move for their approval.
Second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0.
Number 2, consider correction orders.
I'll move that we approve the correction orders.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item B, Bond Council. Number 1, consider approval of resolution number R2026019, expressing the intent of the board to issue Shawnee County, Kansas taxable multifamily housing revenue bonds, and approving and authorizing the execution and delivery of a bond trust indenture, a base lease and lease agreement with Gen 3 Construction and Development, LLC, Inc.
Good morning, Bob Perry. Gen 3 has asked that the county issue its industrial revenue bonds, the proceeds from which will be used to fund the construction of 10 duplexes, which are going to be built on Southwest Villa Drive, south of 29th Street. This will allow them to not have to pay sales tax on the materials, services, and goods acquired, which would otherwise have to be by sales tax. Their application indicates they will not be seeking any other ad valorem relief. So once these are constructed and leased, they'll be on the tax rolls.
Just to clarify, I believe it's 20 units though, right?
It's 10 duplexes, 2 per unit, correct?
Okay.
Is what their application indicates.
Any other questions?
No, we don't. Do we have we don't have to have a public hearing on this?
Not on this one, not on any of the ones on the agenda.
All right.
Okay, I'll move for approval.
I will second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Number 2, consider approval of resolution number R2026020, authorizing the issuance of an estimated $6,500,000 aggregate principal amount of Shawnee County, Kansas taxable industrial revenue bonds, AFAD Inc. project.
Back in November 24th, 2025, you passed a county resolution with 2025-96, where you express the intent to issue these bonds for this project. This will allow the Subaru dealership to add approximately 16,500 square feet of additional showroom space and service space for their vehicles.
Questions?
Yep, I'll move for approval.
I would second. Motion's been made by Commissioner May, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next,
Number 3, consider approval of resolution number R20260021, authorizing the issuance of an estimated $7 million aggregate principal amount of Shawnee County, Kansas taxable industrial revenue bonds, BHI Inc. project.
Again, on 11/24/25, you passed a resolution 2025-97, in which you expressed your intent to issue these bonds. These bonds are similar to the previous two. That's for a sales tax exemption to allow not to have to pay sales tax on the goods, services, and materials acquired, which would otherwise have to be paid for sales tax. This is a project that's on the northwest corner where I-470, South Topeka Boulevard, and South Kansas Avenue all meet. It's my understanding that there's going to be a quick trip there, as well as this is part of a strip mall that's going to go in there to provide other retail and other services.
yes.
So Bob, this is already under construction.
Correct.
Is this for just the strip mall portion, or is this just like, I guess I don't understand, like, we're just retroactively doing this, or?
Well, no, when we pass the resolution of intent in November of 2025, that expressed the intent to issue the bonds. That is the procedure under which the Department of Revenue can then issue the project exemption certificate to the IRB applicants so that they can be exempt from their sales tax as they start the construction project. And it's my understanding from reading through the application yesterday and what has been done over at the city of Topeka is this is going to be a part of the facility with Quick Trip. Is Ben on? Is he?
Yeah,
Ben,
I'm on here.
can you answer Aaron's question, please?
Yeah, of course. So the Quick Trip is, a separate project. That's under, the Quick Trip itself is developing that. This is for the public infrastructure, the private infrastructure that supports that development. And then also we're obligated, to put in, retail uses in that, in that development. So this is to BHI's project, which is same development, the infrastructure that the PEC is being used towards will support that development. But Quick Trip itself is not making use of our PEC, no.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's good to see some more development going in along there. There's been a lot of improvement along Topeka Boulevard in the last 5-10 years, and this is another piece of that, so it's good.
I agree with that.
All right, well, I'd move for approval.
I'll second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Number 4, consider approval of resolution number R20260022, authorizing the issuance of an estimated $53 million aggregate principal amount of Shawnee County, Kansas taxable multifamily housing revenue bonds, Johnson Betts Meadows LP project.
Johnson Betts Meadows is a limited partnership consisting of Topeka Housing Authority, SENT Inc., with S-E-N-T, all caps. I do not remember what that stands for, I apologize. And then a developer of multifamily housing called Mesner Hop Development out of Nebraska. Now, this project is going to be a multifamily facilities. I think it's 176 units at Southeast 31st Street and Fremont Road, which is approximately a block west of Adams and 31st Street.
Any questions?
Exciting stuff. I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner May, second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0.
Great. Thank you,
Bob.
gentlemen.
I think too, this helps fill a void for affordable housing, which we have a shortage of at Topeka, and this will help a little bit with that vacuum.
It's been in the works for years too, so good to see it finally coming to fruition.
Next item.
Item C, Department of Corrections, number 1, consider approval of contract C2026042 with IDEMIA for maintenance of fingerprint systems within the adult and juvenile detention centers for 1 year. Cost of $6,127 is to be paid from fiscal year 2026 detention funds.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tim Phelps, Department of Corrections. This is an annual item that we do. We kind of go in cycles when the machines that we use to take fingerprints get outdated. We have to replace them, but we're still on the current set, which we got in 2020. So that's just another year of maintenance. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions?
Move for approval.
Second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Next item.
Item D, Human Resources, number 1, consider approval of the request for proposals for a classified and unclassified compensation study.
Good morning, Commissioners. Angela Lewis, Director of Administrative Services. Shawnee County has not conducted a compensation study since 2021, which we implemented in 2022. Since that time, market conditions, recruitment challenges, retention concerns, and internal equity considerations have continued to evolve. During the 2025 budget hearings, you allocated $50,000 for a wage study for classified and unclassified employees, and we'd like now to ask to go out for requests for proposals for that study. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, if we have a study, if we approve this, when would that study start?
First, we'd go out for RFP. That would take at least a month. Then there'd be probably another month for us to make a decision about what company we go to. The study itself would probably take 6 to 9 months. So implementation of the study would likely not happen until the pay period, including July 1st, 2027.
Okay, that gives me an idea.
I'll move for, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
If you guys remember back in the budget conversations, I think that our staffing levels are about as good as they've ever been since I've been here, and I don't think this is a necessary thing to do, so I'll be voting no.
I'm going to move for approval. I think that it's required of good stewards to make sure that we're on track with our employees, just to see, and again, this is the first step. This is just to see what the cost would be and who's available for the request for the wage study.
I hate to see us get behind, and, you know, implementing or proving the study is one thing, implementing it is another. So I think it's not a bad idea to see where we stand with other cities, counties. So I think I would move for approval too. So that's my motion.
Then
Or did you make a
I
motion?
made a motion, so you can.
I'm sorry, no. All right, I will second it then. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed?
No?
Okay, motion passes 2-1.
Thank you.
Next item.
Item E, Commission, number 1, cancel March 9th work session due to Commissioners' election canvassing.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Number 2, consider approval of resolution number R20266023, a proclamation commending employer support of the Guard and Reserve and the patriotism and honorable service of Shawnee County and Kansas employers.
I would move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item 5, public comment.
I don't have anyone signed up, but if there's someone here that'd like to speak, this is your time.
My name is Dr. Justin Spees. I was unlawfully arrested inside the Topeka Police Station on September 8th, 2025, and on February 10th, 2026, I filed a lawsuit against Topeka police officers and the city of Topeka for that unlawful arrest. After I was arrested, I was taken to the Shawnee County Department of Corrections Jail under Director Brian Cole's supervision. What should have been a simple booking and bonding out within 3 or 4 hours turned into a nightmare overnight sadistic torture session. During booking, I answered all corrections officers' identifying questions but remained silent to non-identifying questions. This aggravated and angered jail staff. They then stopped my bond and ordered me on suicide watch in an isolation cell in an attempt to compel me to speak and to punish me for not speaking. They conducted a use of force to strip me naked inside the isolation cell, left me naked in a continuously lit isolation cell overnight for 16 hours, and did not allow me to make a phone call the entire 20 hours I was held captive in jail. On February 11, 2026, I filed a lawsuit against this Shawnee County Commission, jail corrections officers, and a jail nurse. I'm going to read from the lawsuit now, and because it's lengthy, I will only be reading the counts. Justin Spees versus Board of County Commissioners, Shawnee County, Kansas, doing business as Shawnee County Adult Detention Center. Officer Bell in her individual capacity, Officer Priest in her individual capacity, Officer White in his individual capacity, Officer Elo in his individual capacity, Officer Stanley in his individual capacity, Lieutenant Jane Doe in her individual capacity, Nurse Jane Doe in her individual capacity, Officer Leahy in her individual capacity, and Officer Bender in his individual capacity. Count 1, First Amendment compelled speech against Officer Bell. Count 2, First Amendment retaliation against Officer Bell. Count 3, 14th Amendment due process against Officer Bell. Count 4, 14th Amendment punitive conditions of confinement against Officer Bell. Count 5, First Amendment compelled speech against Officer Priest. Count 6, First Amendment retaliation against Officer Priest. Count 7, 14th Amendment due process against Officer Priest. Count 8, 14th Amendment punitive conditions of confinement against Officer Priest. Count 9, 14th Amendment failure to intervene against Officer Priest. Count 10, First Amendment retaliation against Officer White. Count 11, 14th Amendment due process against Officer White. Count 12, 14th Amendment punitive conditions of confinement against Officer White. Count 13, 14th Amendment excessive force against Officer White. Count 14, 14th Amendment supervisory liability against Officer White. Count 15, 14th Amendment excessive force against Officer Elo. Count 16, 14th Amendment punitive conditions of confinement against Officer Elo. Count 17, punitive conditions of confinement against Officer Stanley. Count 18, 14th Amendment excessive force against Officer Stanley. Count 19, 14th Amendment supervisory failure to intervention against Lieutenant Jane Doe. Count 20, punitive conditions of confinement against Lieutenant Jane Doe. Count 21, First Amendment retaliation against Nurse Jane Doe. Count 22, First Amendment compelled speech against Nurse Jane Doe. Count 23, 14th Amendment punitive conditions of confinement against Nurse Jane Doe. Count 24, 14th Amendment deliberate indifference to serious medical needs against Nurse Jane Doe. Count 25, 14th Amendment punitive conditions of confinement against Officer Leahy. Count 26, 14th Amendment punitive conditions of confinement against Officer Bender. Count 27, municipal liability policy and custom, Shawnee County Commission. Along with that, in attempting to do an open records request to get documents from my confinement in there, last week, the Department of Corrections wanted to charge me nearly $200,000 for those documents, $190,818 to be exact. So that's a violation of the Kansas Open Records Act, because it does not allow for those kind of charges or any charges. And so there'll be another lawsuit on that one as well. There, Director.
Anyone else wishing to speak? Seeing none. Next item?
Administrative communications.
No one? No takers? Commissioner Mays?
Nothing for me.
Commissioner Cook?
Nothing today.
I have nothing to add. Next item?
Executive sessions.
We do not have a need for executive session, so we are adjourned.